Yeah, it is.
Well, welcome to Ashtray Confessions Pod. Got special guest Matt Austin here, along with the co-host Walmart pimp Gage Thomas.
This is a nice jacket.
It is a nice jacket. It's a really nice jacket.
So I bought this jacket. I was a guest on my cousin's podcast. I show up at the house and she said, "That's a nice jacket." And I was like, "For sure, y'all record this, right? Film it?" She's like, "No." But it's got wisdom in it. So I mean,
That's right.
well,
That's a preemptive strike for your podcast now.
yeah, I was just planning ahead.
Yeah,
We've been talking about doing this for 2 years now, so we're finally doing it. So
that's good.
You got the wardrobe for it already. So, so Matt's from the same town we're from growing up. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. What do you want to know? Where do we want to start?
So, how'd you get your start? I mean, what was it like starting out? I mean, is that what you always wanted to do? Or?
Well, to provide a little backstory, my dad played music growing up. He hit a lot of the VFWs between Nashville, Pennsylvania, and New York here, Tennessee. He did the whole thing back in the day when it was a lot easier to play music.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And wrote a lot of old country songs. He's in his older years, he got to where he was doing a lot of VFWs, doing a lot of weddings, funerals, things like that. It's kind of where he landed with it. But that was kind of the inspiration behind the whole thing. And you guys are familiar going to the same school. Often I would take the guitar into class and do a whole lot of not learning and a whole lot of just practice. So that's kind of where it started, and then went to SPC for music and took off from there. First gig was a place called the Cocoa Club. You live in Lubbock now. It may still be there. I don't know.
Ooh, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's one of those seedy dive bars inside a hotel or in a motel.
Okay,
so
check it out now.
Yeah, it's it's something.
You up to date on your tetanus shot?
And just kind of took off from there, man.
What do you remember the first time you ever heard yourself on the radio?
Yes, it was. God, I couldn't even tell you the year now. Recorded a song with Terry Mashburn at Big Note Studios in Abilene. And at the time, I didn't know JB Cloud very well. We're friends now. But Terry Mashburn with Big Note, he put in a good word with JB, and that was when JB had West Texas Saturday Nights on whatever radio station, 99.7.
Yeah, KBC West.
Yeah, and that was the first time, and I guess I'm my own worst critic because we recorded the song and I was like, yeah, that's what I want. And then I hear it on the radio the first couple times, you're like, yeah, that's all right, that's cool, And then I start nitpicking it every time. Like, I could have done this different, I could have done that different. And we're making a lot of progress now, but
I can relate to that because I'm a songwriter. I don't sing. I'm not a performer, but I'm a songwriter. I've got a couple songs that have been recorded, and whenever I write it, I think it's done. It's perfect.
Right.
And they change up some stuff, and I'm like, man,
yeah.
If I'd have been there for this day, then it would have been like this. But it turned out good.
Yeah. It never ends up how you think in your head.
Yeah. We were listening to your music before you got here.
I appreciate it.
I'm a fan.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
It all sounds great. I mean, I saw you live for the first time this summer at Possum Kingdom at Hemingway's.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Just by accident. You were there that day. So
it worked out.
That's kind of our hideout in summertime.
Oh, it's good. It's good, man.
You
the first time
at Stanford Lake a couple of years ago at the party at the Anchor, did you not?
Yeah, sure did.
That's what
it was Memorial Day, 4th of July, something like that.
Yeah, y'all set up on that trailer. That was an awesome setup.
Yeah, it's killer, man.
For that one.
Yeah, it was so cool.
It was a lot of fun. We brought all our own sound. They had the trailer set up, and we run everything off of one outlet. We were scared to death the whole time. We were going to bust that outlet, but it was good. It turned out it was a lot of fun. There was a big crowd. So.
Have you done like a TV interview or anything, Blaze? Or is the first time you really heard your voice once we start putting these clips out?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. First time on the clips. And I don't like
it.
Nobody likes their voice whenever they first start hearing it. For whatever reason, back in the day, I did a lot of TV interviews because I was the the youngest farmer around, and they would interview me for some reason. And every time they put the stuff on the news, I sound so weird. But
it'll grow into you.
yeah,
Right?
I've got used to it, and that's my voice. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, hard to change it.
Yeah.
So are all your band members, are they all local too?
Somewhat. My bass player Richard, he lives in Haskell with me. My guitar player's out of Ty. My drummer, he used to live in Haskell, worked the same job at the city, but he moved off and he's working with SPS now in Wichita. He lives in Iowa Park.
How hard is that to coordinate getting everybody together to go to a gig? I'm sure that's a nightmare, and then you have to just go to acoustic.
Yeah. So, some days are easier than others. Normally we play Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sundays, sometimes Thursdays. Thursdays and Sundays are hard. Fridays and Saturdays are usually a little easier. It's just, I put everybody in a group thread and text message. That way I can keep them updated. Hey, we've got this gig this day. Put it in your calendar now. And then that way they know what's coming. And then the worst one about it's my drummer. I'll call him that week and I'll be like, hey, man, don't forget we have a gig this week. And he's like, what day?
Did you remove me from the
Yeah, right. No, he'll turn off. I love him to death. He's a great drummer and he's a great asset to the band, but he is so anti-social media and so anti-talking on the phone. And he'll turn off his notifications, check them 3 days later.
We can relate
Yeah.
a little bit on that.
Yeah.
But how do people book you for a show? Do they reach out to somebody? Do they reach out to you directly?
So the last probably 2-3 years, we've been getting a lot more, hey, we want y'all to come play. But for the longest time, because I've been, playing music since 2013. And so for many years, it was me, Facebook messages, emails, phone calls, cold calls to the bars, cold calls to anybody who would answer the phone. Now I'm working with a lady out of Olney, Texas, Blue-Eyed Texan booking, and she does a lot of the acoustic booking for us. But she's also doing some band booking. I still do my own booking on the side, of course, but she's helping take a lot of that stress off as far as doing that.
I'm sure that's a lot.
Oh man,
trying to schedule and even just coordinating with your band. I bet that is a nightmare.
Oh, it is. Absolutely.
Just coordinating me and you to be together at the same time.
Y'all get it. We had, everybody's got their own day jobs Monday through Friday. That's a good thing. I will say, we all work Monday through Friday. The weekends are always off. And it helps us a lot as far as shows are concerned. Nobody has any, fast food or gas station job where they have to work 6-7 days a week or,
So would that go into like even your band members, if they got a great job offer, but it worked 6 days a week, you think that they would turn it down as passionate about it as you? Just so they could be able to be
not necessarily, but
depends on what phase I get.
right, absolutely. So me and the bass player, we both have families. The drummer and the guitar player, they live by themselves, and so for them, it's not necessarily such a big deal, and they're very passionate about it. Me and the bass player, obviously, we're passionate as well, but we have to consider our families, we have to consider our bills, and everything else like that. So, me with my job, I'm pretty set where I'm at. I make decent money. I have a good job. They're very lenient with paid time off, vacation, sick, things like that. So it's pretty easy for me to get off. And my bass player just recently transitioned jobs, and he's got a better schedule now. And so it's honestly helped us a lot. But, say worst case scenario, somebody just get a job offer. I told everybody from the start, I'm not going to keep you from doing what you have to do best is for you and your family.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love my guys. They're all great. I wouldn't trade them for the world. But if something come up, there's other musicians out there.
Well, with that being said, how is it balancing the home life and having to travel around to these places? You take your wife and kids with you usually, or how many kids do you have?
I just have one. She's 4 years old. We just celebrated her 4th birthday. Before we had her, my wife was pretty much at every show, but it was mostly acoustic back then. It was kind of a weird transition so I've had my band for 2 years now. My daughter's 4, so she was really young when the band started. I've had bands in the past, but it did never go as far as this band has. It's the most solid group of guys I've had ever. And my wife will still go to some gigs now, but it's kind of picking and choosing, and you got to find a babysitter. And if it's a late gig in Midland, like if I play 9 to midnight in Midland, I'm going to stay the night. Sometimes she'll go with us. We'll get a hotel room. We'll split it. We bought a camper for if we go real far. It's all situationally dependent, man. It really is. I'd like for her to be at every gig if we could. It just sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes it does.
I'm sure that's tough on a 4-year-old
Yeah,
trying to travel.
Yeah. Dude, the early years she hated traveling. She's a little better about it now, but the early years she was not a big fan.
Well, if your daughter's like my kids, I mean, you never know what sickness is about to hit your house next. I mean,
She was telling us just last night her tummy hurts, and then all day today she's fine. Goes to daycare.
Yeah, my kids are. Is your daughter in school or?
Daycare still.
Daycare.
She's in her last year of daycare. She'll start school next year.
So she's still around other kids enough that she's bringing all this. I mean, my kids are both in elementary school here, so it's like week to week. You can't really plan ahead because you don't know what's about to happen.
Right.
Are we all going to get strep throat? Are we going to get flu? Or,
Them kids need to go play out in the dirt.
Right.
Sickness is getting worse these days, I think.
I will say my kids are good about being outside, being in the dirt. They
Mhm.
don't mind getting dirty. They're not as grossed out about stuff as a lot of the kids in town are.
Right. Well, I mean, you get your own farm out there.
Yeah.
I feel like that plays a big part.
Yeah. That's what we talked about the other day. Like, hey, love fishing. I was like, well, there's a tank 500 yards from here. I bet that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trek out there.
I don't remember who it was, but somebody, whenever we were moving out here, which you give me a hard time about our pool, but they're like, oh, you're getting a pool. That's good. Your kids will have something to do. And I was like, they can do whatever they want out here.
Yeah. Only limits their imagination.
Build a fort or throw rocks or
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what I'd be doing. So do you have any advice for 17-year-olds starting out playing music? I bet you have a lot.
I don't know if I have any advice. I can just tell you from experience. If you want to do it, you better commit to it because it's tough.
How big of an impact is social media on the music industry, like in today's world?
It's all or nothing. I mean, if you don't have a social media presence and you play music, you're not gonna. I don't want to say you're not gonna do well. That would be the wrong thing to say. I would say if you have any type of quote unquote dream of, big time or at least making enough money to pay your bills with music to where you do full-time music, 4 days a week and come home with enough money to pay your bills and live comfortably, you're going to have to commit.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy. There's going to be a lot of heartache. There's going to be a lot of stress. There's going to be a lot of, should I be doing this? But then, I mean, you'll go into some gigs or you'll be in certain situations where it's like, this is the best thing ever. You know what I mean? At least to me.
Yeah. Who was your major music influences?
I mean, aside from my dad, we spoke a little earlier that my dad used to play music, and he was kind of the reason I started playing music. Because watching him back in the day, it was a lot easier for kids our age at that time to get into VFWs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, just thinking back, but just watching him do that kind of thing, I could tell early on, like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
It was just the coolest thing seeing him up there in his cowboy hat, his boots, and his guitar, singing to people, dancing. And now that we do that, it's like a full circle moment. But and because of him and the music he listened to, I think, as far as my influences are concerned, Willie Nelson is a big one. He's my favorite of all time.
Willie, there we go.
I've got a tattoo from the Redheaded Stranger album, right?
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably one of my biggest. He's just an incredible songwriter, massive catalog. Yeah.
It kind of what we're trying to do. I mean, like Willie Nelson's story. I mean,
Oh, dude.
he's got the coolest story.
Yeah.
He was at the top, lost everything. I mean, he's still at the top.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. He's
I
the
mean,
last of the living legends, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that hate on Willie Nelson just because of a lot of what he stands for, but I mean, you can't argue with his success and his music. And
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't let what people stand for get in the way. You know, somebody makes a great movie, and I don't agree with what they agree with. I don't care. They made a
still
great
gonna
movie.
watch it.
Yeah,
Great movie, right?
It's
100%.
it's like that's still a legend.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
when we were kids, nobody cared what. I mean, I'm assuming what you're talking about is like political affiliations and views and stuff. People didn't talk about politics and stuff like that when we were kids. I mean, but now
it wasn't in front of their face like that.
that's right.
Everything's pushed at everybody.
And so, like what you were talking about, social media has everybody has an opinion now, and things they shouldn't have an opinion about.
Right.
Of course,
got to do your research.
We're doing a podcast, and
For example,
Sharing our opinions
a
there.
lot of people don't care about our opinions, but you know, our main goal is to have people tell their stories. So that's
100%.
But
well, if you could move one place in the world to help your music career, would it be Nashville?
Honestly, no, man. That's the big thing about Texas music. It's like, y'all know when we were growing up, like the big names were Wade Bowen, at least as far as Texas country right there is concerned. Wade Bowen, Randy Rogers, Stoney LaRue, Cross Canadian, you know, the list goes on. And they all made it right here in Texas. And I think they laid an incredible blueprint because, you know, you look at people like Billy Joe Shaver, Robert Earl Keen, they're the foundation, you know, they're the roots, they're the concrete of where it all started. And then these other guys, they come in right after them and they're like, here you go. This is Texas country music. Yeah. And there's just so many great studios in Texas now. There's so many great producers. There's so many great artists. And
I was reading a thing the other day. It's talking about, you know, a record can go platinum in Texas and not reach any other part of the country, which is insane to think about.
It really is. Yeah.
And like, you've heard Wade Bowen live? Have you?
I don't think so.
I heard he played at a wedding I went to, and which is insane considering how big I think Wade Bowen is. You know what I mean? And it was like an angel was there singing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So good.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say Wade Bowen, dude. I've seen him 3 times. He's incredible every time, dude. He's so good. I got to see him at FFA State Convention. Gage, I think you were there in Dallas.
Probably.
Yeah.
I remember my senior year. It was Aaron Watson was the one that played there.
I think that was a year before.
Okay.
It was Wade Bowen, and then we saw Aaron Watson. It was in Corpus. We saw Aaron, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in Corpus Christi.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff, man. But to answer your question earlier, like if I was to move anywhere that I think would help my music career, obviously if the family was willing, I think the 2 places I would probably choose would be DFW Fort Worth. I love Fort Worth to death, or I really, really enjoy Austin. I love Austin. Really nice people down there. Austin's a really incredible.
You've had a different experience.
I love Austin too.
I do too. I do too. 100%. Yeah.
The last time we were there, time before last, I mean, going down 6th Street, we went and ate at a restaurant and sat out on the patio.
Insane, dude.
It is.
You don't go to 6th Street to go to a restaurant.
Yeah, go to another shit. Go to a comedy.
Well, we had a good show.
Catch Kelly on Monday.
Yeah, were you there when I dropped them off at the mothership last year? I don't think you were there. I think that was my stepbrother's
bachelor trip.
Trip. I dropped them off. There was a line 3 blocks long to get in the mothership.
Yeah.
There was people.
I went in February and it was great. That was the funnest experience I've had. You know, you lock your phone in a Ziploc bag when you get there. They
don't let you have
it. But that's great.
Yeah,
you know, every time
really
you go to an event, every time you go to an event now, everybody's the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I went pre-COVID. That's when we sit out on the patio and watched everything. And we were staying on 1st Street, right by the Capitol. I told my wife, I was like, "It's 5 blocks to 6th Street. Let's just walk."
It's different in the city.
Walking back at night in downtown Austin,
5 blocks is 5 miles.
You're gonna experience some stuff.
Yeah,
that was the
100%.
first time I actually thought. I mean, death is imminent. And
Yeah.
I got back and I we both got our concealed handgun license the month that we got back.
You're about ready for Avenue Q in Lubbock.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, they just had a bad shootout like 2 nights ago.
They did.
Lubbock's a little.
Lubbock gets Western. Lubbock gets Western. They used to get Western when I was going to school in Upland. I mean, it's,
It was more fighting then, not shooting.
yeah, that's true. There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of fighting.
Growing up, well, when we were kids, Austin was like the country music capital of Texas, or
Oh,
whatever
absolutely.
and maybe maybe they still call it that, but that's when like Pat Green and Corey Morrow and all those
Right,
guys were
right.
king of the world down there. And I mean, they had their own music scene, and nobody wanted to talk about going to Nashville that was
Right.
down there.
And that's still how I feel about Austin, just from the few times that I've been down there. It's not even so much that it's the country music capital of Texas so much anymore. It's just so diverse. You know what I mean? Me personally, I love seeing the point of view of different people.
Yeah.
Just kind of a weird thing that I have, and just being able to, like, for example, we went through a walk in Zilker Park, and there's people playing music. There's Barton Springs. There's just all different walks of people out there. And I just love seeing the variation. I mean, we grew up here, West Texas. I
And
mean,
you don't see that.
you got 2 or 3 kinds of people out here, and nothing against those people. They're all great people. It's just I love the variation, and it's just so different in Austin. You never know what you're going to see. Around here you can kind of predict your day to day, and it's just so unique.
That pretty much sums up our area.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
You can predict.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You pretty much know what's going to
I
happen.
mean, if you live here, you're either in full solar, wind farming. I mean, not a whole lot else going on here.
Yeah, really,
There's down there, you might be a tech guy, you might be an oil field, you might have a clothing company. There's no
Yeah, I know. There's all kinds of things. Data collection. I mean, we've had a good time.
So speaking of Haskell, I know y'all been. I'm in the solar industry. I'm
very much.
I'm a supervisor at a solar plant towards Jake, and, it's very controversial. People are not ready to adapt to change in this
Right.
area. You know what I mean? So my deal is we're not under construction. We've been a thing for multiple years. We got 13 full-time employees that provide good jobs for local guys.
Right.
And
100%.
it's so hard to get through to people that and it's not the workers' fault that people don't like it. you
Right,
know? And
right.
so how do you feel in Haskell? Because I mean, they're getting some in Anson. Y'all are getting twice as many in Haskell.
Dude, Haskell's getting crazy, and working for the city, I get to see a lot of this stuff from the ground up. And solar's not such a big issue, at least from my point of view, from what I've seen, because we've had there's been a solar plant up at the lake for many years. There's a new one that recently come up out going towards Throckmorton. The biggest thing that I've seen that people are against, as far as Haskell is concerned, is there's talks, I think, of a nuclear plant coming out towards the lake at that old plant out there. And there's a handful of people against that, but nobody really, as far as I know, has a whole lot to say as far as the solar.
I've seen a lot of people in Haskell talking about, people throwing up RV parks in residential neighborhoods, stuff like that.
So
Which you got to, if you want to keep those tax dollars that people are spending when they get off from work
In town.
you got to do something to get people to stay in town.
Absolutely, 100%.
The nuclear plants, the cleanest energy there is. I mean,
Until
compared
it's
to
not.
anybody else.
Until it's not. Yeah.
Until it decimates everybody.
I mean, you don't hear.
Not that that's going to happen.
You don't hear how many nuclear plants there are. You hear about Fukushima in Japan and all the,
Yeah.
Chernobyl. You don't hear of all the other ones.
Okay, but my deal is,
And-
right there on the lake where you're getting your drinking water, do you want a nuclear plant?
Well, our drinking water doesn't come from Stanford Lake, so that's
Stanford's does, though,
Yeah.
don't they?
no
Does it not?
us Stanford. I want to say us Stanford, Throckmorton, Knox City, Monday Rule. We all get from Miller Creek.
Really? Okay.
I could be wrong about Stanford, but I want to say they get from Miller Creek.
Okay. Well,
That's-
let the fish do it.
Yeah. As long as there's water there for people to swim and get the boats on, and
My other argument to that is how much land does a nuclear facility take compared to a solar farm? I mean, how big is your site?
Well, it's 3,400 acres.
3,400
Employees.
acres.
But if a farmer had 3,400 acres, he's going to have one employee for that 34. But we got 13 good paying jobs out there full time for 30 years guaranteed. Hard to argue that.
But
you know
that
what I mean?
farm's still going to be productive. I mean, unless it's just blow sand.
It is blow sand.
Well, I'm all for it going to blow sand. But around here, it's productive farmland. And I mean, what's a nuclear power plant take up 30 acres? I mean, maybe.
I've never been to one, so I can't speak on that. But
Get that.
yeah.
I don't know. Me and Blaze butt heads on this. We
That's-
forever will.
That's all right. That's it.
Solar
Everybody's allowed to have their
farms
opinion, man.
haven't been as good to me as they have been to Blaze. So.
Yeah. It's Aaron's
And-
paycheck.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to not stick up for them.
No.
You know, my lights are on.
Yeah.
I get it, brother, but, you know, I look at we had such a beautiful view out our front door, and now we've got a solar farm to look at.
It's pretty. It looks like a lake.
Listen,
Yeah, just
can't-
imagine.
I can't limit it, though.
Use your imagination. Well, you think that's bad as far as acreage? We've got a Google data center coming in too, out towards the lake.
Really?
Big Google data center.
What several hundred acres? I mean,
Yes. We're looking at. I think the estimated number of boots on the ground as far as like construction and early onset employees are going to be like 2,600 people. Like Haskell's about to double in size.
Y'all get some new restaurants, baby.
Dude, right? We've got a new sandwich shop coming in. There's been 2 or 3 new little burger joints pop up. Like it's good for the community, but it's daunting for a community that's been this size for as long as they have.
People are scared of change.
Oh, big time. And I'm not saying it's not going to come with its hiccups, man. I mean, everything does. But I think in the long run, all of this is going to be beneficial for the town. There's going to be more money in the town. There's going to be more options for the citizens. I mean, the businesses are going to flourish. People are going to be able to get paid more. I mean, it's a positive to me.
Yeah, I see it, and people aren't mad at the people that work there. They're mad at the idea.
At the idea of it,
Yeah.
companies coming in and taking up all this farmland, country land.
Yeah.
I understand. That's a legitimate. Yeah,
I don't hate on anybody that works there.
It's trying to figure out what ways out.
I don't hate. I'm not giving you a hard time about your job. You know, it's just the idea of what it is. If that makes sense.
I'll sleep fine tonight. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
I know you don't care, but
he said, "I'm going to bed tonight, one way or another."
Yeah.
well, if has this always been your passion? Is there something else that you're passionate about? I mean,
yeah, it's always been my passion. I mean, from high school, taking my guitar into class and getting in trouble for that. You know what I mean? As I've gotten older, I mean, just as you guys know, you got into solar, you got into farm. I mean, you've known farming your whole life, but you know, you get older and you get knowledgeable in things that you didn't know when you were younger, and all of a sudden you realize you have a bit of a passion for something you didn't ever think you would, just because you know so much about it, you're involved in it. And I really am passionate about my job at the city. I enjoy it. They treat me well. The job is good. I mean, everything comes with its ups and downs, you know. But at the end of the day, I wake up and next day and I look forward to going to work. I mean, all my coworkers are good. I have a great team that I manage under me, and my bosses are great.
Isn't that good having a team? Like,
Yeah.
that means so much. Like, I've worked 3 or 4 really good jobs. Where I'm at now, I can honestly say, like, the team aspect of it. I've never had such a great team atmosphere, and it changes your perspective on going to work.
Oh, 100%.
It really does.
Well, you look forward to going to work with your coworkers. You look forward to, you know, it sounds weird, but you look forward to going head first into the problems that you've got to deal with, because you know, like, regardless of what it is, you've got some guys you can rely on to take care of the problem, and you've got some guys who are giving you these problems who know you can handle it. You know what I mean? It's reassuring a bit, you know.
so the biggest song that I wrote came out this year, and I remember exactly where I was the first time I heard it on the radio. Do you remember where you were first time you heard yourself on the radio?
I want to say first time we ever did a radio like release party. We were in Haskell. We had released our song "Use Me," and JB Clad had played it. And we were just at a friend's house. We were actually, this was the second house of the night. We were at some family's house, and we were like, "Hey, excuse me. Let's go to our friend Mo's house. He's got a conjunto band. They're really good. My bass player plays with him. So we went over there, and he had some beers, and we just hung out. And he turned the radio station on his TV, and we just sat there and waited for it. And it was a lot of fun, man.
Was there some hooping and hollering?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Me and my wife were there, and at this time I didn't have the current band that I do, and so it was just friends and family. Me and my wife, a good chunk of her family, because all her family's from Haskell, and music friends and stuff like that. So it was really cool. It really was. And ever since then, as far as like, I don't even know how many songs we have out now, like 8 or 9, but I think we've had 4 or 5 on the radio, and now it's just always in the truck. Always in a vehicle, like, hey, it's coming on right now. And I'll have friends message me on Facebook or send me a text message. Just heard your song on the Patriot or 997 or down there in Fort Worth, or anywhere. And that's a cool feeling. You get a random text. Hey, listen to your song and wherever I'm at. You know what I mean?
When you got a song on the charts, do you watch the chart every week?
Oh yeah.
I've been watching it all summer long.
Yeah.
Y'all climbed pretty high up. So 16.
So "Watch Me Go" is the one I've got on the charts right now. Caleb Young sings it. It was at 17 last week. So it's been
very cool.
It's been working its way up.
Yeah.
I hope it keeps on going up.
It needs to.
So now that we got songwriter and musician here, singer, songwriter.
As soon as this deal wraps up, I got some ideas to throw at you.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll keep you here till 3 in the morning if you
don't do that. My wife will come drag me out. I promise.
Matt's got a great voice. He sings so good.
I appreciate it. Try anyway. It's taken a lot of years to get here.
You're doing good. We're proud of you,
man. Thank you.
Like I said earlier, I watched your show at Possum Kingdom this summer. It was awesome.
Thanks, man. You gotta catch a full band show.
Yeah, I for sure do. Yeah. Do you have any shows coming up or songs coming out?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as far as songs, we just released a song called 6 Feet in the Ground. It's a little more on the rock and roll side of things, as far as Texas country is concerned, but it's one of our favorite. That seems to be really where we thrive, in the grittier, Texas, like I said, Texas country rock and roll subgenre, I guess you could call it. Because, if you listen to my music on streaming platforms, we have the country things. We have songs like Dance Hall Doctor, Use Me, stuff like that tend to be a little more mellow country, but we really thrive as a band and really put our all into the stuff that just has more emotion and more grit to it.
Speaking of that, do you have a favorite song of yours that you like to play?
Yes, probably my favorite song is the newest one I've written. It's called Love Me Lonely. It's unreleased. We probably won't put it out till next year, but as far as released music goes, it was probably the first song we put out with this band that I have now. It's called Wildfires. It was the first, because everything I had recorded previously until that. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I'll listen to that.
Yeah, hell yeah. That was the first song I recorded with a band in a studio where we go in and we lay down all our tracks. Everything else previous to that, I went to Big Note Studios in Abilene. And I go in and I lay down a vocal rough and a rough guitar. Then it gets sent to a musician out of Nashville. He makes all the tracks for it, and it comes back how it is. You go back in and cut final vocals, and that's how it is. That's the end product. Which it's a great system for singer-songwriters, especially starting up. It's a fair price. You go in there and you cut your song, and you pay X amount. And
what's it cost to go in a studio, say, hey, I got this song I want to record and put out? I mean, is that too much?
No, absolutely. It depends on the studio. I've recorded songs for $500. And that's all I've ever recorded songs for, is $500 a song. But there's a lot of, high-end studios, award-winning studios, like just in Fort Worth, for example. I mean, there's studios all over the place. But you could hit a big-time studio like Fort Worth Sound with Bart Rose. I mean, $1,600 a song. Really? And then there's other studios, they'll charge you $3,000. Just it's all.
I imagine the sky's the limit.
Oh,
Depending
absolutely.
on who you're working with.
It depends on who you're working with.
Yeah.
It depends on what equipment they're running. It depends on location. Do you have to hire musicians out? Because some musicians, they'll come in and track your song for $100 a song. Some musician will charge you $1,500 a song.
That's crazy.
It's
What about like cost going to do a show?
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure overhead on getting all your stuff there, getting everybody there, getting them hotel. I bet that is insane.
oh, we've lost more than we ever made. I promise.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That sounds like
And it
fun.
reflects on my taxes. You know what I mean?
IRS, you hear that?
Yeah. Fix something. Yeah. No. Yeah. You know, especially the biggest thing about it is like you got to know your worth as a musician, right? Just like you know your worth in the solar farm, you know your worth as a farmer. But at the same time, you have to realize that you may have an incredible band. You guys may be badass. You put on a great show. That's fine. 150 miles west, there's 16 more bands just as good as you are. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. I don't want to say music is a cutthroat business because I don't think there's a lot of musicians out there trying to undercut other musicians. But everybody, at least the musicians that I've met, they're all trying to, how would I say it? They're all trying to get their money's worth for the effort and the practice and the work that they put in for what they're doing.
So I've got follow up for that
Okay.
question. So what is more important to you in the music industry? Would it be financial gain or reaching more people?
Reaching more people.
Really?
Yeah,
That's good.
I mean, obviously, financial gain is going to be a big
coming
thing.
with that.
Yeah,
Reaching
yeah,
more people turns into
Yeah.
yeah, right, correct. You don't want to. I mean, nobody wants to play for free unless you're, just starting out. You know, you're like, I've gotten to a point where I can go and I can play 5 songs by myself with an acoustic guitar. Yeah, you're going to go hit every open mic and every songwriter night and everything you can do for free. But once you've put 5-10 years into it, you're not going to go out and do it for free unless you're just ain't got nothing better to do. You know what I mean? You've just invested too much time, money, and effort into doing this. And so you know that you can provide a service for somebody, whether it be a venue, whether it be a private event, whether it be a company, whatever it is, you know that you can deliver what they're asking for. And so you want to get your money's worth. But at the same time, there's very stiff competition in the Texas music scene. And so you've got to be fair, but you've got to be firm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, people can't expect you to go play for free.
No,
You
absolutely
gotta-
not. And a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
I'll meet people who, hey, we're willing to throw X amount of dollars at you to come out because we know what it takes. Then you'll have people who will be like, "We all play for $400, 4-piece band, bring your own sound."
Yeah. There's a hotel up the road.
Hotel up the road if all 4 of y'all need a room.
Do you do a lot of private stuff, or?
We do as much as we can. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I guess it would. I imagine it pays a lot better.
Our private rate is higher than our venue rate. That's at least in my experience, that's standard business practice. When it comes to venues, you are fighting the competition, literally, because they could just as easily hire a band 6 blocks away as opposed to us, a venue in Fort Worth. They could hire a band 6 blocks away for $800, or they're going to hire you for $800, and that's the price. And it doesn't matter how far away you are or not. At a private event, you pretty much pick your price, and the worst they're going to tell you is no.
Yeah.
Again, that's where it comes into being fair. You got to charge what it's worth to pay your guys. You got to charge what it's worth to get there, stay somewhere, the time and effort you put into practicing and learning these songs, the cost of equipment. It's
Putting miles
on the vehicle, wear and tear.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you here in a second, what's your favorite story from when you were out on the road doing a show? But before I ask you that, I'm going to tell you a story that I've heard on you. That's my favorite Matt Austin story.
Oh,
here
we go.
So Matt's mom does my taxes. She's my CPA. So one night she's out of town and her friend is house sitting for her. And she drives by and there's somebody in the house moving around. You know where I'm going with this? So she sees somebody moving around the house, calls the cops, and cops get there, and I don't know if they bust down the door or she has a key or what.
She gave him a key.
She gave him a key. Here in a minute, the cops come out and said, I don't know who it was, but somebody was taking a shower. And her friend said, they took a shower? Matt is running out the back door, not supposed to be there.
That was many years ago, all right. This was, man, I don't even remember the details of that. I was living in Levelland at the time, and I had come back to Hamlin to hang out and drink with some friends or whatever. And I don't even remember how I ended up in the house. Like, I had plans to stay with somebody, and they fell through or something. I don't know what I'm going to do. I ain't going back to Lubbock tonight, you know what I mean? And I knew where the spare key at the house was, and it was late, and I wasn't about to call my mom and be like, hey, I'm getting in the house.
Were you in the house when the cops were knocking on the door?
I don't remember what happened. I think the lady that, because I had locked everything. You know, I was in the house, I had the bolt locked, and I had the chain locked and everything. And I want to say that I heard somebody open the door, but I had the chain locked, so the door couldn't open. Can I cuss on your podcast?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Like, you know? And so I'm like peeking through the blinds, but to where whoever it was couldn't see. And they leave, and I'm everything up. And I'm at the time, like, as I'm walking out the back door, I see police lights in the front yard. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm getting the hell out of here. I can't believe she told you that. Of course she did. Of course
Well,
she
the
did.
whole tax office was talking.
Of course they were.
I guess I was there like 2 days later.
He went in with a frown and came out with a
Yeah.
frown.
No, I still have one.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, I gotta call my mom after this.
Well, that's been several years ago.
Yeah, and it was several more years ago that happened. I guess as far as like my favorite, I mean, I've had a lot of, you know, just fun. You know, we go out and play shows and we have a lot of fun. Probably the strangest thing is actually very recently, about 2 weeks ago, we played a show in Granbury, and it was booked through my booking lady, Blue Eyed Texan Booking. Her name is Brandy. Shout out to Brandy Hope with Blue Eyed Texan Booking. She got, it was like a friend of a friend of a friend kind of thing. And she called me. She's like, this lady has a private event for her insurance company in Granbury at Celebration Hall, and they want a band. And originally she told me that this lady was requesting like a cover band for like 80s hair metal and like rockabilly. So like Jerry Lee Lewis and Whitesnake. And I told her, I was like, not us. And she hit me up a couple days later, and she's like, well, I went ahead and sent her a list of bands that I have because I told her I don't really have anybody like that. And she chose you guys. And I said, okay, well, great. Just make sure she knows we're a Texas Country Red Dirt band. And, you know, all discussions happened. We agreed to play some hair metal and some rockabilly and stuff during our breaks, whatever. And it was fine. Like, the gig turned out great. We got paid, and everybody loved it. And it was just the most unique gig we've ever played because we get there and we get set up. There's this little platform stage, and we're all almost shoulder to shoulder. You know, it wasn't a big deal, but there was this. We start playing, and first song, it's called the Celebration Hall in Granbury. I don't really know how to describe it to you. Aside from you walk through the front door, big open hall. In the back left corner, there's this big black curtain that leads to the restrooms and the kitchen, and we start playing, and from behind this black curtain, so like I said, you walk through the door, black curtain, we're in the right corner facing the rest of the room. So to our right comes out of that black corner, this lady, she's like all decked out in black, and she has this LED light bar of like multiple colors. And she just starts dancing with this light bar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She just starts dancing with this light bar. Yeah. And me and the guys just kind of look at each other in the middle of our song. We're just like, this is something new. And, you know, she probably goes through about 3 or 4 songs, and she goes and takes a break. And then this other guy comes out. He's in old school loafers, socks up to his knees, and he's got suspenders on and like one of those old newsboy hats from, you know, however long ago. And he starts by juggling. He's just juggling these little foam balls. It was wild, man. he dropped him a few times, and me and the guys are just, having the times of our lives up there. And then he started juggling these handkerchiefs. I don't even know how to describe it, but the best part, because her and that guy, they would alternate. She would come out with like different lap bars. One was that long one, and then she had a hula hoop and just all different kinds of stuff. And this guy comes out later in the evening with this balloon about this big around.
And these are just people attending. It's not like they're
they were hired entertainers.
Oh, they were.
They were hired entertainers.
Yeah, I didn't show up with all that.
That'd have made it even better. But no, they were hired entertainers.
Okay,
And
that makes more sense.
but he just starts walking around. He's got this big old balloon, and he just walking around people's tables, just bouncing this balloon off their hands and off his nose. And at one point, the lady with the light bar, she had like this really long baton that had lights on either end. And he comes up and he pretends to throw this balloon like a baseball, and she goes real slow mo, boom, and just barely tapped the balloon, dude. And it was just one of the most unique things we've ever seen in our life. No, dude, it was
How do you
different.
perform with that going on?
It was tough. It was tough. When she hit that balloon with that baton, in the middle of the song, I start laughing, and I look at the guys, and they're like, "Focus,"
All right, y'all keep going. I just got to turn this page. Well, I got one more Matt Austin story I got to tell. So it was probably the same FFA trip you're talking about. You're in the back. So Matt's got this Zen in front of him that made me think of this. We're on this FFA trip. He's in the back of the school Suburban, in the very back row, and he tries some Copenhagen long cut for the first time, and here in a minute we could hear a drink spill.
It wasn't spilling.
No. So one of the girls in the middle row said, "Dude, are you wearing your drink?" And he was puking a 32-ounce awesome
To
stuff.
be fair, the back of the Suburban's the roughest part.
Well,
To be fair.
Yeah, the roughest part, especially if you're trying to snuff for the first time.
I'm gonna fully blame that one on Matt Jernigan.
Well,
Okay.
he's a good one to blame.
Yeah, because he dared me to take a big old 3 or 4 finger, and I said, "Bet I'll do that." And I had just had, back when Pied Piper was still around, I had just had 2 of the sausage and biscuits.
Wow.
And a big old 32-ounce Dr. Pepper or whatever. And it, thankfully, well, I'll say thankfully, it still ended up all over the Suburban, but most of it landed in the cup. Most of it.
Yeah, so that spilling sound was him catching it.
Yeah, right into the cup. Right into the cup.
I mean, that's an effort at least.
I mean, he tried.
Well, that's the problem. I'm in the very back. Ain't none of them windows going to open, And I ain't climbing over the back hatch.
Well, getting off of that, do you have any shows coming up or songs you want to plug?
Sure, yeah. As far as songs, 6 Feet in the Ground, that's our most recent release. We may be recording another one soon. A friend of mine wrote, but that's in the future. The next one will be this Friday. I'm in Culinary Dropout in Dallas, which is a really good spot. I'll be song swapping with a friend of mine out of Brownwood. His name's Blake Mayer. Then we are heading down to Leander, north of Austin. They have a big pumpkin fest that goes on all month, and we're doing a band show in the afternoon, then doing an acoustic thing later in the evening, and then we're back out there later in the month at the end of the month. But I mean, I've got October's pretty much booked up, November's getting there, and December's got 4 or 5 already. So we're staying busy. If you're in the Lubbock area, Blue Light, November 13th. It's Thursday, so come on.
All my Lubbock people, come on.
Yeah, y'all need to load up and come on. It's gonna be a good show.
Maybe we need to run up to Lubbock.
Yeah, I'll be there for that one. I'll be there
Come
for that
on.
one.
I got
Yeah.
a place to stay. So.
Yeah,
Y'all need to-
I already offered my place to Matt. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to get a hotel.
Just
then.
thinking.
That's like I said,
Thanks,
Blue
man.
Light puts us up to the
Oh man, I didn't want him to stay with me.
Oh, I mean, me and the band are all staying in one room at Blake's house.
I can smoke in your house, right?
Hell no. Say Ashtray confessions.
I love it.
Well, You got a song you want to play for us, Matt?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'll do one for you.
We got anything else we need to talk about?
I want to know what the best advice you ever got was.
Best advice I ever got was many years ago.
It's probably from me, right?
Obviously. He said after that trip to
Stay away from
FFA, he said leave Copenhagen alone. No, it was actually a piece of songwriting advice. I was working at Tarpley Music in San Angelo many years ago, and Radney Foster came in. I don't know if you're familiar with Radney Foster. He did that song, Texas in 1880 with Pat Green. A bunch of, he's Angel Flight. He's got a lot of good songs. He was playing in San Angelo that night, and he come in. I don't even remember what he bought, but we got to talking, and I was early in my career at that time. And he told me, he said he got a piece of advice from Willie Nelson. He said, the first 100 songs don't count as far as writing. And so that has stuck with me forever. And I can show you the list of songs that I have just in this phone. I mean, I've got a book full of them too.
How many do you think you've written so far?
Well over 300 or 400.
Really?
Yeah, well over 300.
How many do you think are good enough to put out?
Only the 7 or 8 that we have released right now, aside from the couple that we're going to release in the future.
So when you're writing a song, for me, I'm alone in the tractor a lot, and when I'm not breaking down, having problems, that's when I can think of material.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your method? Where's your spot?
Man, it'll vary. More often than not, it's words very similar to that. Especially early in my time at the city, I used to drive a maintainer, and and I probably wrote 5 or 6 songs in a maintainer. Yeah. Just a couple words, and then I'll take it home and try to piece it together with music. Sometimes I'll just be, practicing guitar or working out some chord structures or something, and I'll come across something I like. I could put some words to this, But more often than not, it's a lyrical process. And
so, do you think it's harder the process of getting the words on paper or getting the music to match words?
I wouldn't say necessarily either one. I would say probably the hardest part out of those two would be getting the music to match words, because there's been several times where, and I'm sure you're familiar, you'll write a whole song in your head and you'll have like a tune that you'll be playing to, especially like the layout of the words to where it fits in the music.
Yeah, the tune don't always match.
No, exactly. And you'll write it a certain way in your head, and you'll realize when you're putting music to it, oh, I've got to move this word here, or I've got to stretch out this word there. Different kinds of things,
Makes sense. I feel like that would be tough. Just trying to, here's a good product. Let me try that.
Yeah,
let me try to finish it real quick.
And then all of a sudden it takes you 6 days because it doesn't work out like you thought it was going to work.
Yeah, when I wrote Hammer Down, I was driving back from Lubbock. Is Hammer Down, Abilene bound, and it started out as a love song. And when Caleb put it out, I was like, man, this is a rock song. This isn't a love song. But,
that's what he had to do to make it work.
That's what made it work.
And that's the coolest thing that I've learned as far as like recording music is like you can put a song down, you and an acoustic guitar. The final product with a full band is not going to be. Yeah. It's not going to be anything that you thought it was. I mean, obviously your lyrics are there and the key your song is in is there, but it becomes so much more because you can write a song a certain way with an acoustic guitar, and then you get your bass player in and he puts an old school Johnny Cash thump bass line in it or something. You're like, oh, I didn't even hear that in my head, but it fits perfect. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it'll become something different than what you thought it was going to be.
Speaking of guitars, how young were you whenever you got the guitar down?
You're probably in high school by then.
I know you were taking it to school and everything.
Yeah.
But when did you pick the guitar up, and when did you really get it?
So I've had a guitar, or I got my first guitar when I was 10. My dad bought it for me. It was an old Beater First Act. You know what I mean? Probably back when Walmart used to sell guitars. And I didn't really pick it up or start trying to learn until I was about 14, 15. And once I got to a point where I could, half-ass sing a song and play guitar at the same time, that was Hamlin High School, freshman, sophomore year. Whenever I thought it was easier to try to sneak my guitar into class than it was to try to learn something, And that's really where it kind of started. Old Aaron Watson songs and Merle Haggard and things like that.
It is cool seeing like Aaron Watson though, like guy from this
Right
neck
here
of the woods,
in our,
you know,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
right in our backyard.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
He's
And he's
I won't say where she was, but my wife was bowling with. She works at the school, so she was bowling with some other teachers the other day, and she's like, I looked up, and Aaron Watson was over there with his family bowling. Oh, what are the chances of that?
yeah.
But
crazy.
I'm not gonna say where he was, but he was in Dallas. He wasn't around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe
really.
that.
Yeah, if you want to shred one,
Yeah,
for us,
yeah.
I'd love that.
I wouldn't say I'm shredding, but
We want to take a little break while he's doing getting that.